Hello and welcome to another episode of Everyday Alchemy on the Win, helping you transform your dreams into your reality. And today we're going to talk about the transformational power that we all have of turning a downer day into a day that's worth living. And we all have those days, whether you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or perhaps something happens during your day that just knocks you off and all of a sudden this looming awful feeling comes over you. Or perhaps you've been carrying something that's gotten under your skin, a problem you've been having for a long time that continues to really create a sense of melancholy. So how do we transform that when we're good and ready to say, I want to feel better now? I'm going to give you 5 thoughts on how to do so, okay? And the first one is to feel the feeling fully. Oftentimes, I'm sure many of you have heard this idea that what we resist persists. So the first step is to move fully into the feeling, whether it's, fear or anger or grief or whatever it is, and fully be able to access that and to be able to express it and give it at least its airtime, because we deserve that. It's a respectful way to treat ourselves. If a child has a skinned knee, and they're crying, you don't say stop crying, you don't ignore it. You tend to it and you put on a goofy band-aid and you say, honey, where, I'll kiss it and make it better, where does it hurt? And all of a sudden, that child's off and running again, swinging on the swing set. So the first step for all of us is to feel the feeling and to be able to acknowledge that. The second thing I want to share with you is the idea of just set a timer. Literally setting a timer. Now this might seem a little unrealistic, like how am I going to set a timer to my bad feeling and stopping my bad feeling? That, how do I'm not a robot. However, we do have, remember, the power of the mind in which to say to ourselves, I'm going to make a choice. This is how much of my day I'm going to focus on this. And then I'm going to set either a real timer or a mental timer and say, at this point, I'm letting it go for now, either forever or for now. And it's very, 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 very powerful, because in fact we have the power to make that choice and to be able to say, how big do I want to make this and how long do I want to hold on to it? The third thing is the concept of pivot point. Now, Esther Hicks talks about this in terms of the calibration of energy and on the emotional scale from shame to enlightenment. And the idea is there's a lot of different emotions that we can feel. So if we can just work with creating what she calls a better feeling thought. And the idea is, let's say you're in judgment of yourself or in judgment of another, and it's just, really, really weighing you down. To take that from that place to absolute joy is probably a tall order. But perhaps you say, I want to just up level just a little bit. How about if I get to neutrality instead of being in such judgment? How about if I just be like, I'm just going to be in neutral for now? That's one step closer to feeling better. It's a very, very, very powerful exercise. And before you know it, you keep moving up that scale and all of a sudden we do feel better. The fourth thing I want to share with you is the idea of nothing's for naught and choosing, even when we feel bad and we're having the Debbie Downer day, what do I have to learn from this? I love the quote from Nietzsche, the German philosopher, and the idea was that his concept that he shared was, no matter what is happening in our day, ask ourselves, tell ourselves, I need this. Let ourselves know, I need this. And ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? I have to tell you, I practice this, I try to almost all the time, because there's stuff that happens in life that's a bummer. There's external circumstances we can't control, right? Stuff happens. And so, but when we say, I need this, it allows us to ask ourselves, what can I learn? And how can I receive some kind of blessing in disguise or wisdom from this experience? It changes everything. The number 5, or number 4 actually, I want to share with you is the idea of changing our focus. So when we're ready and we've done these steps, we can say to ourselves, okay, what I focus on expands. What do I want to focus on that brings me joy? And I promise you, if you close your eyes and you take 3 deep breaths and you imagine the people that you love the most in your life. What gives you the greatest amount of joy? Or if you're a surfer, you imagine yourself out there surfing. You imagine an experience in your life that just always creates great pride and joy. Right there, just again, the power, you're connecting your mind and your heart, again, to a more joyful experience. And all of a sudden, you feel better. Again, what we focus on expands. And lastly, if all else fails, I promise you this will work. You ready? Take an iced cold shower. I'm not kidding you. I do this when I get my hair blown out or I get my haircut. I say at the very end, I say, okay, make it ice cold. And it like wakes up all the neurons in my brain. And if you're feeling really bad and you throw yourself into an ice cold shower, I promise you, you will laugh and you will scream and you will get out a lot of energy that you don't need. And all of a sudden, it is transformative. So try it. Bottom line is, we have the transformative power to take a downer day and turn it into a day that's worth living. And I hope some of the things that I've shared with you today are relevant, are meaningful, or maybe you just take a nugget home with you because they work. I wish you a beautiful day today and tomorrow and for all your days. I thank you. I am Marcy Cole, the host of Everyday Alchemy, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye now.